front of the boat. He's the pro, David Young. His non-boater partner is Dr. Al Little, a guy who loves this format.
The really nice thing about being able to come out and do something like this for somebody who really doesn't have time to practice but who just enjoys fishing. You can come out here and you can fish with people who know the water, who know how to fish. You learn something every day. You get to be around people like David Fritts and Roland Martin, Denny Brower, the people who are the big names, and you never have the opportunity to do that in any other sport.
Well, although the pro will have complete control of the boat, it's the amateur or non-boater who will gain some serious spotlight time today. We will crown our non-boater winner, and again, there are 10 non-boaters out there fishing for the first prize of $15,000.
When I had the opportunity to get in this, well, I punched redial on the phone for about 20 minutes till I got in the morning. They were taking entries.
The chances of me getting to go out and play ball with Michael Jordan or hit a pitch from Glavin, that'll never happen. But I can come out here and fish with all the fishing heroes.
Well, here are your 10 pros or heroes who are left, and the 5 best weights today will keep them fishing next week for $100,000, and that's how you turn into a superhero.
I fish a lot of spots on this lake, you know, being from a home lake, it got a lot of places, and I moved a lot, and I fish a lot of different stuff, and I feel like, you know, I can catch me 5. I think it's going to take, you know, 18 pounds or so to go into that top 5, and, you know, got a great field here, some great competitors. It's going to take some fish to make it.
When you're fishing the way I'm fishing, and, you know, you've been a couple hours with a bite, you've probably eliminated, you know, a lot of the water that don't have a fish in it, so you're getting closer and closer all the time. And like I said, the big bites are coming on that jig, and I'm going to stick with it.
Just fishing hard. I don't have any particular spot that I think I can go in and catch them, which I had in the past 2 days. So today it's just kind of burned up all my fish. So I'm just kind of take the same pattern I'm using and just move it around in the lake and see if it works.
I don't know. I don't know if I'm the man or not, but I'm going to try to be the man.
I got my cookies, my map, my booty for when it rains. I'm ready to go.
Well, we are ready to go with a day of fishing here on Kentucky Lake and Barkley Lake. We should mention that because there'll be some over there as well. 2 great lakes for fishing. I'm Tommy Sanders. He is Jerry McInnes. And we heard the early morning comments of some of the anglers we won't see until weigh-in time here. But we've got 5 boats out there that we will be watching very carefully, and we will see a ton of fishing out there. Lots of different styles.
5 interesting boats.
Yes, absolutely.
We got Gary Klein and David Fritts in the bass fishing world knows these 2 guys.
Knows their styles as well.
Close look on those. Hey, we have Jimmy Millsaps, Teddy Wynn, and David Young, who we have never covered before. They've never made the top 10.
Right. They have fished with us all year here on the FLW Tour, but they haven't cracked the top 10 yet.
Well, boy, they cracked it this time.
In a big way.
Yes,
they
sir.
certainly
have really been consistent. Though, between those 3 guys, well, practically every qualifying day they've had a 20-pound string of fish. So that's very interesting. I think the fact that we got 2 or 3 different patterns, catching them on crankbaits, catching them on shallow crankbaits, deep crankbait, lots of flipping. There's just a lot of interesting things going on right now.
Might even see a spinnerbait or 2, and I think a lot of the non-boaters as well who maybe don't feel as comfortable cranking are going to be throwing worms, things like that, Carolina rigged worms.
We might even see a smallmouth, Tommy.
My wife actually fishes this tournament too, and probably is more of a fishing addict than I am, which makes it real nice because you have somebody to travel with and very supportive when you need that little bit of boost about what a crummy day you had. I just dread the day that we're both on stage together. And believe you me, it's coming.
The Walmart FLW Tour is brought to you by Walmart. Always low prices, always. By Ranger Boats, still building legends one at a time. By Evan Root Intruder 150 with fit fuel injection. And by Citgo. Citgo says go.
Well, I pulled in here yesterday, 2nd place. I had about 10 pounds, and I caught about a 6 and a 5 almost back to back. And then I caught one about 2.5, all in about 5 minutes, and I left. Of course, I don't know. Like Scotty Young and me have been swapping a lot of holes, because I found some more fish yesterday that he stopped on just now, first stop, so who knows? I don't know if he fished these yesterday or not. If he did, then it ought to be some good fish here.
Well, that was Teddy Wynn, whom we just heard from. He has Quint and Bourgeois in the back of his boat. And, of course, he had the concerns about this man right here, David Young, or as he calls him, Scotty Young. Now, see, already I'm confused.
Yeah. You call him Scotty all day. And as a matter of fact, they are big buddies. And, of course, that's the reason he does have a little bit of concerns about where Scotty is fishing right now. They fish the same holes, and it's going to be kind of interesting to watch them bounce around from the different places, and each one worrying that the other one has already been here or he's going there, and so their game is a little bit different than the other guys.
And back to Teddy Wynn. Now, it's unusual for us to have two guys who really live on a lake in the final 10, or much less the final 5.
You'll notice that we very seldom have a local in the top 10, or as you say, the top 5. Most of the time, the regular guys on the tour. And, of course, these guys are regular guys on the tour. They fish all the time, so, you know, they've got a lot of experience, and Scotty is getting a great start. And, of course, this is Doc Little with the fish now, but Scotty was weighing another one on. Hey, he's got his rod in Scotty has his rod in the net. He has his lure hung up in the net.
Or else he's showing off. I
don't know what the deal is. He's very concerned about weighing that fish.
4 or 5 days ago, I had a super good practice on this kind of stuff and little bars. And this seemed like since the tournament started, they've all pulled off of that. I don't know if they went back shallow or moving towards the main lake more. Here's one. There. Oh.
He come on?
Yeah, come on.
How big was it?
No, 3.
So far, all we've seen is crankbaits being thrown. Normally, you don't lose any fish when you're fishing that way.
The shad already getting pretty good size. I mean, partner had a fish the other day, probably went to weigh him in. He'd spit up a shad probably 8 inches or more. So even on the shallower stuff, I'm throwing the bigger bait. Seem like they're after the bigger shad.
Now, Teddy Wynn there, David Young, I know also fishing down toward the dam for Moore's Marina, which is our headquarters there, Jerry. It looks like they're just throwing out in the middle of the water, but there's something under there, right?
Yeah, absolutely. They're fishing on the end of bars, and they've got some high places. And, of course, Kentucky Lake is just full of this really great contour. This is a perfect place to be bass fishing. And, you know, Tommy, as you well know, this is also a great crappie fishing lake. And a lot of these guys learn these places while out there crappie fishing, bouncing around, trying to find good crappie drop-offs, and doggone, there's a bass there.
Which could be another reason why we have more local guys here in the finals.
Doing so well, right. Boy, Scotty can throw the heck out of that crankbait. And he made the comment that he thinks he does a little bit better because he outcasts his partners. And that may be true. You know, he just is covering more ground.
I'll tell you what, unless he's coming to me.
Also,
yeah,
he gets his rod tip down. I think you'll notice all these guys, he and Teddy Wynn, David Fritts, you know, look at their...
Oh, get him, Bubba. Yes, I need to down.
Again, that's Dr. Al Little back there, not Bubba.
Not Bubba. No, not Bubba. And I kind of lost my train of thought. I was watching him laying that fish there. Again,
they keep that rod tip down. That keeps the line straight towards the bait.
Absolutely, and gains them maybe another 2 foot of depth with their crankbait, which is so important. Scotty's a happy man, Tommy.
Looks like he's having the time of his life out there today.
That's the greatest scales I've ever seen.
And he's getting to use those scales a lot, too. I want to point out one more time now, they are not just out in the middle of the water throwing around. He knows exactly what they're bumping those crankbaits into. Normally a drop-off are some logs and stumps.
3-6.
This is over on Barkley Lake, and I think we're supposed to believe that there's a boat in this picture somewhere. Can you oh, there it is. Okay.
And wouldn't you know it'd be Gary Klein? Boy, this is his kind of fishing back in this really nasty. Are they in a boat, Tommy, or are they waiting?
I don't know. They may be on the bank. You're doing a little bank fishing today, maybe. No, you can't do that, though, can you?
No, I don't believe so.
That's not fair. Got to be in a boat.
Gary, boy, he's proud of that fish. He has to hold it over the top of a tree to show us. But Gary, of course, is the premier flipper, and that's what he's doing.
They hitting it on the fall? That fish there hit me on the first hop. In the thick of the bushes? No, she was out on the edge. I've just been trying to lay my bait right on the edge. I do penetrate some, but you have a heck of a time getting them out of there, so I've been trying to get them to come to the bait. With it overcast like this, you haven't had to penetrate.
Feel like good fish. It is good fish.
It's non-boater Jay Rooney making a little noise in the back of the boat there for David Fritts.
These non-boaters are going to catch some fish today.
Well, he did bite a lizard. I knew. Good.
Of course, when you're in the boat with David Fritts, you're going to be around some fish.
Yeah, you can count on that. You can count on that.
So you do have an opportunity. Although, hey, I must say this, David Fritts just barely made the cut today.
Pretty nice fish to start out with.
Fish? Yeah, fish. Dang, I'm gonna change colors. Stay down, baby.
Now here's Teddy Wynn and Quint Bourgeois, and Teddy now he's in a place that looks a little bit more like traditional fishing area there.
Yeah, but Tom, he's not fishing the bank, so to speak. That boat isn't just going down the bank and him throwing to it. He's 2 casts off the bank. And again, he's fishing a drop-off out there. Whatever the channel or whatever the creek bed is going into that bay, that is exactly what he is after.
We take him.
Fishing the heck out of those crankbaits, and probably, again, in as deep as 12, maybe 15 foot of water.
Well, we said that big things were happening out on the lake, and we want to take you to where they're happening right now, the front end of the boat, especially of Teddy Wynn. Can you hear the cranking going on out there? Teddy, you got to be just elated to be in the position you're in now, a limit of fish at just barely 9 o'clock.
Yeah, I feel real good about it. I had a limit probably 30 minutes ago or so, and I've killed 1 fish and lost a fish this morning. But I feel like if I could catch 1 more good fish, I'd be in that top 5.
How many pounds would you say you have right now?
I'm thinking 17, maybe 18, right in that range.
And if you had 20, you feel pretty solid for the
Yeah, if I get 20, I feel like that will make it. I said coming in this tournament, if I could catch 20 pounds a day for 4 days, I'd win this thing. Yeah. And that's what I'm trying to do.
You've got to think, or I guess I should ask you, at what point do you say, that's enough, I've got to get out of these choice spots?
Well, of course, what I'm doing right now, I mean, every spot I'm fishing, I feel like I could catch a good fish on. That's the reason I'm fishing it. You know, there's places you fish for a big fish, and that's what I'm doing now, instead of trying to find bunched up fish.
As you're fishing, do you kind of keep the guy in the back of your boat kind of in mind too? You know, obviously you want him to catch a few fish too, so you're not going to leave all the fish.
Almost definitely. He's got 1 real good fish. He caught first thing this morning, probably a 5.5 pounder or something like that. And you know, I feel like if he could get 1 more bite like that, you know, who knows? He might win that thing, you know, and that's what we're fishing for is good fish, you know.
Hey,
when you get your lure in, hold it up to us, to our camera. Let us see exactly what you're fishing with. And is this the same bait you've been fishing with all week long?
Yes, sir. This is the bait I've thrown all week. It's a DD22 by Bill Norman. It's got the blue back and chartreuse sides, the gel coat finish.
How deep of water do you think it's going in?
Well, different places are different, you know. A lot of people may not throw a big bait as I do up shallow like I do, but I just like for it to tear up that bottom. And, you know, a lot of places I'm fishing, you throw up on 5 or 6 foot, but also I'm hitting some brush piles down 12, 14 foot deep with it also. And
Quint Bourgeois, I want to ask you a question. It's got to be kind of awesome to see a display out in the front of the boat like you've seen today. Have you been watching more or fishing more?
Oh, I've been doing a little of both. He's definitely had a good stringer so far.
Have you picked up on something that's going to help you put together a bunch of fish, too, so you can win this non-boater side?
Well, yeah, I think so. I kind of messed up starting out early with some 17-pound tests, and I think that really hurt me, and I've changed line sizes now, and hoping that'll make a difference. So I went down to 14. I probably need to have 12, but I went down to 14 just to see how I do with that.
Well, Quint, we'll keep watching you guys, and hopefully he'll stick around so you can get a few fish as well. I feel like he will, and we'll be back out to watch them a little bit later, doing terrific so far. Teddy Wynn and Quint Bourgeois, and that was a good question. I mean, Teddy may reach a point where he's ready to go, but,
yeah.
You know, are these guys, how hard are they looking out for these amateurs? How much of their interest do they have to pay attention
Gosh, you
to?
know, I guess it's kind of a fine line, but I think most of these fellows are really good to that guy in the back of the boat.
Sure, yeah.
And of course, Teddy's probably in an awful good mood right now.
Yeah, oh, yeah, yeah.
Whoa. Oh. Coming up now. Be ready. Get her. Thank you. Damn, that's a big fish. That got me tomorrow.
You are watching the Walmart FLW Tour. This is our tour stop on Kentucky Lake, and they are catching fish today, especially in this boat with David Young and Al Little.
Well, my partner yesterday only had 5 pounds, 5 ounces, and they didn't think he had a chance. And he pulled like a few ounces pulling out a 20-pound stringer yesterday.
I had 17, 12. I couldn't believe it. It was just like 25 casts or so, and I had my limit.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
it.
There's a rock reef coming across this flat right here, and it's about 3 foot higher than the normal. You got one?
No. Yeah.
Got one?
He came back and got it.
Oh, how about that? Look at there. Look at that 5-pounder. Look at him swim off. 5-pounder swim off with him right there. He tried to get it out of his mouth.
I wish I'd have both had it.
Well, any minute now, we're going to find out who that is behind the bush.
Here's a toughie now.
Well, okay.
Here it comes. Starting to become clear, Tommy.
All right. No, the guy, that's Jimmy Millsap. Jimmy Millsap and Leon Williams.
Yeah,
the two guys.
2 top guys, huh?
Oh, they have been knocking them dead on the 2 qualifying days. 44.7 pounds for Millsaps, 25 plus for Williams.
Did you see me scare that bass off?
Huh?
Did you see me scare that bass off and I throw that lizard in there?
How big was it?
About 3. See him right there? Can you see him? He's right on the other side of that bush.
He's good, 3 or 4 pounds.
That's right.
He was up there shallow, wasn't he?
He was up there shallow, but he's running scared. Uh-oh. I can't get the net out.
Still a few of them in here.
There's a few of them still laying around.
I think we just like to slow down and beat them out. That would be the big one right there.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Another good fish for Al Little, fishing there with David Young. He and Quentin Bourgeois, who's fishing with Teddy Wynn, have a real battle going today amongst the boats we are covering.
Thank you. Blind in one eye.
Look at there. Someone's on mine. Look here.
Get him.
Look here. Oh, God, he got off. Did you see that? Holy moly. I laid my rod down, dip his fish, and mine took off out across the water. I tell you what.
I'll take this one, too.
Boy, you
this is No, this is not a good one. Unless he's coming right at me. Dang it.
Got off?
Yeah.
Woo!
Me and Tommy, there's that cast I was talking about a minute ago. Of course, David Young's a big old boy. He can really get a lot of leverage behind it.
There he is. Get the net. Oh, gosh, he come off. That was some weight. Man, that was some weight right there.
Man, he made 3 good tugs.
All right, here he comes, here he comes.
That'd work.
Oh, man.
Okay. I got it. Get that hooky.
Oh, yeah,
And you talk about some fish catching guys. Quentin Bourgeois, not to be outdone out there, puts another one in the box. These non-boaters are going to town today.
That helped.
Boy, it did help. If I could even get 2 more of that size, I'd be happy, you know?
Well, Quentin is adding them up, and normally it takes 8 or 10 pounds, and the guy in the back of the boat wins the big prize. But I believe it's going to take, 10 pounds or better to win it today. Lots of fish being caught. And you know what? Fishing a crankbait kind of evens it up. It makes it very possible for the guy in the back of the boat to do well. And Quentin and Dr. Little are doing very well.
Woo. Sorry about that. That was almost a bad net job, wasn't it? He ran on me right there.
That wasn't almost a bad. That was a bad net job. I tell you, that's the good and the bad news for these anglers. The good news is they got somebody to net their fish. The bad news, there's somebody netting their fish for them.
That's scary, you know?
The Walmart FLW Tour is brought to you by Walmart. Always low prices, always. By Ranger Boats, still building legends one at a time. By Fitz Fuel Injection, the best of all worlds. And by Chevy, the most dependable, long-lasting trucks on the road.
Oh, well, Gary Klein has just popped out of the shrubbery, and it looked like he got a big fish on, too, Jerry.
No.
He did. He got out of the bushes, but he's on some good cover. If you notice,
Damn!
if you notice, there was a bush he was flipping around.
I saw him.
Yeah, that's a nice one. Gary Klein has yet to make it into our top 5 out here on the FLW Tour, and he is excited about the prospect of doing that.
We're working on them, one at a time.
This fish right here is pulling, unless I got something foul in it, but I don't think so. You ready? You just get the net at him. Oh, it's a big fish. Y'all get him. Try it again. Thank you. All right. Now we're cooking.
Boy, when you see David Fritts kneel down on that deck with his rod down on the water, you know something. Things are getting started. Watch this guy. That's all we can tell you.
That's the size fish we're supposed to be catching.
You know, I think we talked about this in an earlier show. When he comes in from the boat dock,
I'm going to catch him now.
well, he says if his crankbaits are all different colors, he hasn't figured it out yet. But when he comes in, if his rods are all loaded up with the same crankbait, you better watch out. So did you look at his crankbaits last night?
I didn't get it.
Did you miss him?
I'll let him run off.
Get the net again. Oh, he come off.
I wasn't even smart enough to notice that, but I do know that people will tell you, he can tell you exactly where he goes and catches 50 fish in a day, like he did over on Lake Eufaula. And you can take the same bait, and you can sit there and do the same thing. And you think you're doing the same thing.
You think you are, you're right.
You won't catch as many fish. He's got an extra dimension in there somewhere.
And something that I want everybody to notice also.
Good too. God dang. Look at this.
When he catches a fish or loses one like he did there, you know, just seconds ago, he throws right back in there and hooks another one. Or he catches one and catches another one instantly. And I think that's amazing. And Tommy, you know what that is? That's boat positioning. He knows exactly how to position that boat. And he can, you know, he can tell you what...
This fish don't feel right. You ready?
He can tell you...
Oh, no wonder I got found it.
What kind of crankbait he's throwing. He can show you the color, he can show you the rod. He can just lead you right through all of that.
They're stacked in there. They're swinging at it. Huh?
But man, he positions that boat correctly, and that's the thing that he really doesn't say much about.
I think you ought to ask Quint about that hat he was wearing. Hey, yeah, Quint, where'd you get that Indiana Jones hat there?
just something I use to keep the sun away and the rain when it starts raining.
And keeping that sun away is important. How many, this is your, what number FLW tournament is?
There's a good fish.
Good fish.
Well, not a good fish, but
Yeah, he's good. That might win it for you. Might just do it.
Is that Quint's fish we're hearing about there, or is that Teddy's?
Quinn just got a good fish, or good keeper fish.
So this fish number 3 for Quint.
yeah, that's right.
Quint hadn't gained his consciousness back yet.
So how many tournaments have you fished on the FLW Tour, Quint?
This will be my third.
This will be your third.
Right.
Well, you got a pretty good payoff pretty quick, I'd say, for the investment of time, wouldn't you think?
Well, I need, I've got one solid fish, but I need to probably get 2 other keepers if I could.
Gary Klein and his partner Craig Muller still over there on Barkley Lake. And, Gary, with about 12, 13 pounds, you figure that's going to be good enough to make it into the top 5, or are you still fishing for a big one there?
No. I figure I need 17, 18 pounds to make the top 5, and I'm really just one bite away from that, so I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing.
Hey, Gary, I know you're trying to hit about everything that you can, but is there anything special that...
Yeah, I'm trying to isolate the fish because obviously over here on Barkley there's a million targets, but the fish seem to be on a good-looking buckbush that's kind of isolated, not a real solid row, but where you have a little break up in the bank, and then there's 2 or 3 key bushes. That seems to be what the fish are holding on.
And hey, Gary, if you would, talk us through some flips. Tell us, try to give us a feel of exactly what you're doing.
What I'm trying to do is hit right at the base of the bush, let it fall, pick it up, and go to the next bush. It seems like if the fish is there, he's going to hit it on the, on the initial drop of your first flip.
Oh, sure.
You need me to do anything? The trolling motor up or anything? Let me get one. Oh, let me get it. I'll get it.
Oh, is that not meant to be, I guess? Not a big one, but it'll work.
Well, these pros never cease to amaze us. I know their amateur partners are floored as well. Tommy Sanders along with Jerry McInnes. We are your official Walmart FLW broadcast team. We're here on site, Moore's Marina on famous Kentucky Lake. And of course, we're supposed to keep track of the fish that are being caught today, and that has been a chore because our competitors are doing so well. Remember, we crown our non-boating champ today during the show, and of course, we'll cut the field from 10 pros down to 5 who'll fish for the championship.
So many fish down there. When I come over with my crankbait, I feel it bumping over them. So I think it just, when you hit one of them or something, it makes them strike.
You know, I wonder, Tommy, if Scotty knows that Al Little is a doctor and his name is not Bubba.
Bubba?
Oh, me, get the net, Bubba. This could be him, boys. This one I need. Oh, there's some weight here. Come on, darling. Stay hooked up, sweetie. Big fish. Big fish. I'm feeding up big. Come on, Bubba, get him. Golly, boys. Woo, he's a 10, I think. Get him, Bubba, get him. Yeah, woo! Yeah.
That'll do.
Looky here. Whew, that'll give you a heart attack, boys, I tell you. Looky here. Woo-wee. Son. That one done it.
Well, Scotty, let's see the darn thing, man. Tommy's talking about it being a 10-pounder.
Yeah, I mean, we're all hyped up now. We need to
see that 10-pounder.
Show the fish.
David, which one's the smallest?
Oh, hey, that's a good fish.
That is nice.
It's not a 10-pounder, boy. That's a 6 or 7
I
pound.
ain't gotta weigh him.
Which one is the smallest?
Well, let's weigh him, Bubba.
We may have to be putting up with old Scotty again next week.
Yeah, I think
Tommy.
he's going to be back.
Count up.
Can I get up here? Yeah, we got room. You ready? I hope so.
Yeah. All right, get him. Thank you. You're welcome. Man, right there's what it's all about, I swear. Woo! Hey, David, can you hear us? Yeah. Man, that's what it's all about right there now. I'm telling you.
Sounds like you found them at long last.
Well, I've been around them all day. I just found one little honey hole here. I just got me one about 6 or 6.5.
So you're just going to go through and solve the whole bunch here over the next 25 minutes?
Well, I probably.
Well, that's a really good position to be in, sir. And David, we've heard you say it before. Is that one as long as your leg?
Yeah, he's from my knee to the floor.
It's fairly hooked, too, right? David,
I want to comment on something that I have thought about on a number of occasions. We've got one of the most prominent bass fishermen in the world here on the phone, David Fritts, and he gets so excited when he catches a bass.
Oh, man, it's just like someone...
First bass of their lifetime. Yeah, puffing and puffing, and it's still a big deal to you, isn't it?
I tell you what, Jerry, when it stops being fun, you don't need to fish.
That's right. Well, I tell you what, talk about excitement. We certainly had an exciting time with you at Lake Eufaula. That $100,000 win, I know, is something we've been looking forward to all of your life. I want you to tell me
how it's changed you in the months since then, or if it's changed you, or changed your approach, made you a little looser in your competitive.
Well, I tell you what, that's the biggest win of my life. It's just, yeah, it changes your life. I mean, I tell you what, I mean, winning the tournament was the most important thing, but there's one thing, whenever I went to the bank, you know, it's a lot of money when they say they can't cash a check.
I just caught one about 8 or 9. Hey, little hog, boy. Almighty.
$100,000 fish.
Woo!
Too nervous to fish. I know, and I've been there many times, but it's still fun.
I'm a nervous wreck. My legs are going out from under me. Oh, Lord.
What a time.
Where's my pliers? My hooks are even bent.
I got a pair laying in here. Take a deep breath in.
Thing about the live fish limit, I mean, you got to feel like there won't be many amateurs that'll, you know, I mean, the best a couple of them will do is limit, and at that point I've got one good one, one dink.
Well,
You know,
you've
they
been
probably
watching,
haven't
you've
had
been
much
seeing it. Some of
control.
our
I mean, that
pros
gets
are just
pretty
having
hot.
dream days, but two of our non-boaters, Al Little and that man there, Quint and Bourgeois, are neck and neck for the non-boating title. The championship will award today.
If he throw a crankbait, he might have a decent sack.
Right.
Both his partners had a good sack.
See, the truth be known, I should have had a lot better sack than I had today. Just, I don't know. I think that heavier line hurt me some.
I think he done good myself.
Do what?
I think he done excellent.
Now that would be the one you need to get the net on. Oh no!
He come off right at the boat.
He was a good one too. I don't think he was a 4-pounder, but his
Come off right at the boat.
he had been a cull fish.
Good job.
Good job again for Quentin Bourgeois. The pros, of course, will have $100,000 on the line next week. But these non-boaters, they're after $15,000. That's the top prize for today, and that is not bad.
What are the chances of getting one more like this, you think?
I think he got a good shot of winning it right now.
Oh. Wow.
Real good shot. He gonna win that dude.
Well, they are sitting right on the end of a point now. This is a perfect example of what we talked about earlier, in that they can fish in any direction right now. Well, they're probably sitting right on the end of a point, and the drop-off could be actually on both sides of the boat.
It's a great deal for the non-boater.
Absolutely, man. I mean, he can throw into any of the good places. However, Teddy has thrown into the right place right here, and I know, you know what, I think Quentin is possibly fishing a little bit too fast. Man, he needs one more fish so bad.
He's taking in a little too much oxygen right now.
Yeah, I think so.
He's on fast burn.
And he's saying, boy, I'm going to help Teddy land this fish, but why couldn't I have caught that one?
Better net job that time.
Yeah, he is going to get net down.
I am going to throw off into that point while we're sitting here.
Huh?
I am going to throw off into that point a couple times.
There's one.
We haven't checked in with Gary in a while, Gary Klein, but he's obviously been catching them. Got one on right now.
And I guess of our 5 fishermen, Gary's the only one over there in Barkley Lake, and of course fishing over there. Little emotion. Hey, wait a minute, Tommy.
I might get to play tomorrow.
Gary caught that on a crankbait. Gary Klein can't catch a fish on a crankbait, can he?
He's defied the laws of physics.
I'm fishing it real easy.
That's right. He may be disqualified.
Think that'll work?
Yes, indeed, that will work for Gary Klein. But look at this, Quentin Bourgeois. This net job here works as our Fuji film flashback for today, and that's, well, the kind of stuff that keeps it exciting.
That's scary, you know? Scary.
Weigh-in time is literally moments away, and Quentin is saying, please, just one more fish.
I think David's ready to go to weigh-in.
I sure am.
Too nervous to fish.
And I got real lucky today. Real lucky.
Being from Coldwater, Michigan, I'd have thought maybe you'd have tried the smallmouth here on Kentucky Lake.
Well, I've weighed in 2 so far, but I'm pretty much a largemouth fisherman myself.
Koby Kreiger takes his spot. He will be our first qualifying pro.
I've got a few fish that I haven't been to yet, and if they show up, you know, it could be real good. If they're not there, then it ain't gonna matter.
Well, you just run over $100,000 down on Lake Eufaula down there. Two of these in 1 year, that'd be a feat hard to handle.
Yeah, I can stand that.
You can stand it? Let's step up here and watch a little bit of this video that we go right here on David Fritts.
Oh, it's a big fish, it is. I'll get him. Right again. All right. Now we're cooking.
All right. You are faster than Grease Lightning on that hit.
I got good today. David Fritts, certainly a familiar name out here on our tour. He will be fishing with us for next week.
From Mayfield, Kentucky, David Young. Come on up, David.
Wow.
You got the limit in there?
Yeah, I do.
Your arm getting a little tired from tugging them up?
Oh, a little bit.
All right, let's set them on. Let's see what the weight. 5 fish here. All 5 of these alive. Check the weight. 20 pounds even. 20 pounds for David Young.
David Young, the local favorite. He takes 3rd position, and we've got 2 more to go.
All right, Gary, let's go ahead and set them up there. You got a limit in there, I guess?
Yeah, I ended up catching my 5th one.
All right, 5 fish, and the weight of the 5. 22 pounds even, 22 even. Got 22-pound stringer, and a lot of that was because of this right here. Look at that. That is a beautiful. You want to weigh it just for kicks? All right, we'll put the bag in there so we get 0 out here, right here. And we get just perfect 0 and set it in. And the weight of this fish, 7 pounds, 14 ounces, 714 for that beautiful fish.
Our 4th angler, Gary Klein, made it by fishing the Barkley route.
Look at this. Wow, what beautiful, beautiful fish right there. 23 pounds, 11 ounces. Three days in a row, over 20 pounds every single day. Can you do it 4 days in a row and walk away with $100,000?
Charlie, I don't know. You know, it changes every day. I caught my fish today back the way I caught them last week. And the first 2 days of the tournament, I had to catch them different. So, you know, it's changed back. So I hope it stays like it was today.
Well, Teddy Wynn, another local fisherman, actually David Young's running mate, takes the last position. And how about that tight am race? Boy, our unofficial tallies now had Bourgeois and Dr. Al Little really close. Shoot, there were some competitors that we weren't following. So this weigh-in should really be interesting.
One looking for 315. It's getting pretty close. See if we can get him to settle down here. Wow, that's going to do it. 6 pounds, 5 ounces, 6 pounds, 5 ounces. Kelly Brooks still in the game. Kelly Brooks, our leader now with 8 pounds and 6 ounces. Quint Bourgeois, you got to come up with 6 pounds and 2 ounces. 6 pounds and 2 ounces of fish. Quint is from Knoxville, Tennessee. Fished out there with Teddy Wynn today, so you saw him do some pretty fancy net work, especially netting a fish that stays outside the net. That's pretty good trick there. It's got to be 6 pounds and 2 ounces. Oh, 5 pounds and 14 ounces. All right. That was 2 more fish there, right, Charlie? 2 more fish. Gonna look for the 4th there. Oh, I think Quint is still in. Let's see. Oh, man. Woo! All right, Quint Bourgeois is still in there. 11 pounds, 9 ounces. Tremendous. We're into double digits now. Quint Bourgeois has upped the ante. He leads now with 13 pounds, 14 ounces, 11 pounds and 2 ounces to Al Little. Let's see what we got in there. Al Little's only weighed 1 fish now, remember. Quint Bourgeois with 4 fish, 13, 14. Kelly Brooks has also weighed in 4 fish. I can't call it. We're going to find out. $15 grand, $15,000 to our winner here. Got to be 11.2. It's got to be 11.2. Let's see what it is. 9 pounds, 13 ounces. Why don't you give him a big hand? He's the first man out, but my gosh, you had to follow Quint Bourgeois there. Al is a good effort out there today, and I'm sure it's been just a primo experience being part of the top 10 and now our top 5 on the non-boater side.
Wonderful experience. Had a great day every day, and today was even a better day.
Tell us a little bit about your experience out there today, what you picked up from your pro, and what you learned about it.
I was lucky enough to fish with David Young, who just is wonderful. We crankbaited all day long and learned a lot of tricks, caught a lot of fish. Never got a big fish, but we had a lot of fun. A little rough out there, but otherwise it was great.
Well, what's it going to take to impress you now that you've made it here to the top 5? You're just going to have to come back and win one of these things.
Have to win one.
All right, we look for you to do it. Another big hand for Al Little. Let's bring him up, our champion.
Oh, here comes. That works. Man, not a good fish, but yeah, he's good. That might win it for you. There you go.
Big hand for Quint Bourgeois. Pretty exciting. You upped the ante on us pretty good there.
Well, I was trying to save the big fish for last, and I probably should have caught more than I did. I started out kind of bad and lost a 6-pounder about an hour before we came in, jumped about halfway the boat. So
seems like there's been an epidemic of people losing fish this week. You have any idea why that might be?
A lot of the fish he caught today seemed to want to jump for whatever reason. So
It's kind of itchy this time of year.
Kind of itchy, I guess.
All right, well, what's next for you, Quint?
I'll keep fishing some of the FLWs and some of the other circuits around. And this is a real good circuit, though. Anybody who wants to learn a lot about fishing or thinking about getting into it, this is a good way to get paired with some real good people.
The Walmart FLW Tour is brought to you by Walmart. Always low prices. Always. By Ranger Boats. Still building legends one at a time. By Johnson Fast Strike 150 with fixed fuel injection. And by Chevy, the most dependable, long-lasting trucks on the road.
I fished Kentucky Lake the first 2 days of the tournament and had not been to Barkley for about 4 years, and I went to Barkley today and just went fishing because I really felt that my fish had ran out. But I got a little subtle pattern going, or at least it's been working, and I just went to Barkley and just applied that pattern over there. Ran a lot of water, and my bites were about 1 every hour.
Well, let's see you fishing over there on Lake Barkley. Look right over here.
Yes, that's Gary Klein on Lake Barkley, and we may see this scene again next week. He's going to be battling the likes of David Young, Teddy Wynn, Koby Kreiger, and David Fritts for the $100,000 championship. Great lake, great names. Going to be some great fishing. Don't miss it.
Yeah, damn!
Were you getting nervous right about then at all when that fish was jumping and splashing and thrashing around?
I got a real good hook set on the fish, but when you're in real shallow water, they have no place to go but under the boat, and that's where she went. So you just had to do the best you could, and Craig did a great job with the net. But my hat's off to Craig. You know, I've grown up with a flip stick in my hand, and for him to stand some 18 foot behind me and have confidence in hitting all the targets after I've already been through there, for him to catch those 2 fish, he did a great, great job.
I think both of you did. Good job, guys.
The most important ingredient is passion. At our level, that's the thing that you got to really work on the hardest to maintain and to generate. I don't care how much intellectual knowledge you have, how much experience you have, if you lose that passion, all the rest of that is worthless.